Michael, thank you so much for making time for me. I know this is a busy time for you, too, especially because of the big announcement. We've seen it in the newspapers. We've heard it on the radio. We see it on social media. You've got an icon coming to the El Mocambo, something that people were kind of worried that his annual event that he usually has here in Toronto wouldn't happen. You're making it happen. For folks who may not have seen this, who are you bringing to the El Mocambo, my friend? And this is exciting news.
Rudy, thank you so much. I'm very excited to bring the legendary, one and only Gordon Lightfoot streaming at Sundown. It's going to be an incredible show. I wish we could have people in there, but under current conditions, we can't. And Gordon is prepared to do these two great sets. They're going to be long sets. It's going to have some new material released, and I'm really excited for the show. He's excited. His manager's excited, and we're putting out some really cool merchandise for Gordon and posters and T-shirts. And, you know, this is an icon of Canada, and you'd have to look at this as being, you know, one of the traditions that Chris brought to us was Gordon Lightfoot. It's going to be at the Massey Hall when it does come back, but in the current time, the El Mocambo's filling in for the Massey Hall. Great venue.
How did you make this happen?
Well, I have to say it was a bit of fortuitousness and a bit of, you know, hard work and a bit of friendship. So, you know, what came from what I would say would be a very good partnership with the Lightfoot camp came out of the fact of my friendship with Ronnie Hawkins, who I met Gordon at his house numerous times. Gordon impressed me every single time I saw him. You know, he one time would pick up a guitar and just play a song, and you'd just be mesmerized. And you know, Ronnie would go on stories and talk about him and Chris Christopherson and Gordon. And those were just the times of my life. You know, I see Ronnie probably once every 2 weeks and, you know, has been a very dear friend of mine. And Ronnie Hawkins is himself a great legend. And he was the introduction to Gordon Lightfoot. So that's one of the reasons. The second was that, you know, because of the current situation and because our technology at the El Mocambo is up to 5G and 4K streaming, the ability for us to produce a world-class global show is possible. You know, we spent a lot of money on the venue. It's been probably out of, you know, blind luck with the pandemic hitting that we're in a position to do this. It was probably our secondary proposition, not our primary objective. But, you know, we're trying to manage and get through this tough time. You know, we haven't had many shows because streaming is still very tough to get people to sign on to. There is some technical lags, and there's some, what I would say, because the general music market and more so the comedy market has been for free for so long, it's a change for people to pay for something where they're not in person. But we're finding a bunch of different opportunities going forward, which include a partnership with Wekerle that's going to go and present, you know, a party environment where you can stay confined in your home with your own bubble, with your own family, and enjoy the life of, you know, the Gordon Lightfoots of the world. That'll be in 2021. But Gordon Lightfoot, then the final statement here is, you know, I was able to cut a deal where he believes in his music, his new album, and we believe in our team and our marketing.
Can you just assure people that Gordon will be safe when he does this performance?
Oh, 100%.
I mean, you heard about, you know, one of the greats, Charlie Pride, passing away, and the rumor was if he wasn't at the, I think it was the CMA Awards, that may have contributed him contracting the disease, getting the disease, and passing away. Rumor. Let me just make that clear. Rumor.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's a lot of misunderstanding of this pandemic. Sometimes, you know, you might think it was a result or a heightened awareness, or it could be something that we haven't figured out yet. So I believe that, you know, in this times of situations, you have to take all precautions. We've been operating at the El Mocambo since Canada, where we did the City Toronto Canada Day. We've had 100% record, touch wood right now, that stays intact there. But, you know, we believe that safety is first, and the precautions we take at the El Mocambo with all our camera crews, with all our lighting people, we've all been COVID tested. We did that early as about a week ago. prior to the Andy Kim Christmas show, which will be aired on the 19th of December. The 18th of December, I believe.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that, they're going to do some previews on the 18th and aired on the Saturday, which is the 19th. But, what I do believe is going to be really key here is that, we don't have any participants at the show. Unfortunately, for fans of Gordon Lightfoot who would love to be there, we've had numerous requests paying multiple amounts of money to buy it, purchase a ticket, but we just have to say no. We have our staff that is going to be there. We have our internal catering staff that's going to be in the basement, which, again, we have 3 renovated floors with a top floor that has a balcony, so in essence it's 4. The balcony sits 60 to 80 feet away from the stage. So we're trying to utilize social distancing to a maximum that we've never seen before. The recording room is isolated booth. We have a direct entrance from the elevator right into the green room, which Gordon will be staying in, and then making a very short move down the second floor to perform. So, we have cleaners in there consistently to make sure it's going to remain that way, especially on game days, which I call the show. But I do believe that it's going to be very important that for all venues, I wish that, the whole government and operative groups would look at this the same way we do. We're very much in the hospitality industry hurting. I've talked to Charles Caboose and the Donatos, and we've done everything in the, Ted Nicolai at Harbor 60, everything to abide by the rules. And, we've just more or less lost the whole Christmas season, which is the biggest for the whole hospitality groups. And it's a shame because, I don't see the difference between a big box store where they don't have the same protocols that we have. They don't have the same restrictions that we have. And, whether you're in a Costco or a Walmart, yes, they're wearing a mask. But, some people prefer to wear a handkerchief around their face, and I don't think that does any good in light of this environment. And, obviously there's always a higher percent of error when you have more people coming through. So I wish that, A, we could get over this pandemic as quickly as possible, thank God for the vaccine, and B, that the hospitality industry gets compensated or let's treat it equally going forward.
I absolutely agree with you on everything. And what you said about the handkerchief, I actually did see a news report on that's probably the least that helps you when you're out there. So thank you for bringing that up. But, one of the things that you want to...
This is very informative. It's very informative for you to actually come on the air with me and talk about this, because there's a lot of frustrated people out there. We see people getting citations. We see people going to jail that are just trying to make a living here. Yet on the flip side, you can walk into a health food store, which is great to see them open because it does good for this pandemic. But, there's no restrictions, and some other areas are booming and other areas are, dying on the vine.
Absolutely. You had the premier in front of you right now. What would you say to him?
Oh, I tell him, I say, just make it equal opportunity. If you're going to have 25% capacity in a restaurant, have 25% capacity at Walmart. Have 25% capacity at Costco. You don't need, there's no difference in my view, whether you're in any space, because social distancing, as you see, exists only when it's enforced. And I know in a smaller venue or a smaller operative store or a smaller restaurant, you have the capability of spacing out tables. You have the supervision to take care. You have the proper protocols for your servers to get tested on a regular basis. Yet, I don't believe that they have that same protocol in other areas because it's a non-essential or essential business. Who deems essential? Mental health is essential, and I think that's going to be something that the Premier's got to look at. And in light of what's going on here, 7,000 people a year die from suicide, and I think it's going to get bigger. I think that this is a very dark time because people need human interaction. Families need to see family members, and when we go through this time of grief in the Christmas season and New Year's season, and you're under lockdown, it's going to be tough for some people to get by, especially when they're under financial duress. And that's what I would say to them. Start to open up very safely. Start to treat people equally. If you're in lockdown, lock everything down. If you're not going to be in lockdown, don't treat people differently. Yes, there's some essential services that, whether it be a pharmacy or a selective group of grocery stores, but people are taking advantage. They're price gouging. They're knowing that it's going to be the time where they're going to get huge volumes, And I just think it's a really bad time for people on the consumer side because we're at a negative. We're price takers, not price makers.
Absolutely. As we slowly wrap this up, I could be wrong when I say this. I could be right. I do believe you are probably the only venue in Toronto that has been having streaming performances. I know not just the two that you're talking about right now, the big fundraiser happening with Andy Kim and, of course, with Gordon Lightfoot, but I've seen on social media other artists performing at the El Mocambo, which is amazing that you have the facilities to be able to do this. But so many other venues don't. Will we be able to survive in 2021 because we're losing those venues?
Well, yeah, I totally agree. We lost 12 venues this year, and so I've decided to reach out to all the different venues, and we're doing a show called Hughes Room live at the El Mocambo. So we're going to keep the brand Hughes Room alive. They have sold tickets that they couldn't perform at, and then when the pandemic hit, which they were looking on track to profitability, the landlord pulled the lease on them, and they couldn't survive. But Hughes Room is a legendary place in Toronto, so we're creating the Hughes Room night at the El Mocambo. It'll be once a month, and we're featuring Dan Hill in the month of February. And I think that's great, a great Canadian artist. It is the Hughes Room type of clientele. Hopefully we'll be able to have some people in the venue, not lots, but some people. And, my point is to reach out to, we're working alongside Live Nation and all the agencies. The Danforth Music Hall, which is owned by Live Nation, is open for streaming, and also is the Empire facility out in Belleville, which I know Tom Cochran's playing on December 18th, to give him a plug for this as well. But I encourage all the people. This is about collaboration, not competition, and we need to really band together, and we need help from not just the city, not just the province, but from the federal government to make music and art a part of our society. We're losing operas like Opera Italia that are trying to stream, and they're on a very, very tight budget right now. And, if you don't keep them going, you don't have them anymore, as we saw in the music industry, in the venue industry, as we will see in the restaurant industry. And then it's going to be a very difficult time to rebuild that social fabric that gives people the culture and art that, we loved as children, Rudy. We were kids when we grew up, 19 years old, going to the Gasworks or to the Horseshoe or the El Mocambo. Now you got to limit them places. The longer this goes on, our children, as they grow up, will not have the experiences to see live music. And, every major city in North America is a destination. Toronto was at the forefront to be in the top 5. We're slipping fast.
Absolutely. As we get going, very quickly, where do we go again for all the info for Gordon Lightfoot for his
so go to El Mocambo's site, elmocambo.com, and it'll be streamed by a company called Nugs.ca, sponsored by Mogul Finance Inc., a great cash app for Canada, and sponsored by Steel Auto, a great car venue, a great car operation, and, online shipping everywhere in Canada. So please sponsor your local restaurants, and also sponsored by Wahlburgers. And I can't forget Boom 73, the Stingray group of radio stations. But, thank you, Rudy. It's been a pleasure to be on your show. And I look forward to seeing you in Mocambo when things open up. Nugs.ca and elmocambo.com.
And we can still get merch from that on that site too, correct?
Yes, you can. Go to elmocambo.com. We're putting stuff out every day.
Merry Christmas, my friend. Looking forward to the shows, and hopefully you and I can talk one-on-one in 2021. You take care.
Hey, would enjoy that, Rudy. Thank you very much.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye.